Hey, brothers, you're listening to Home Bar Happy Hour. We're talking about an awesome weekend with the NFL championship games. We're talking about Outlaw Mile High Brewing Company, and we're talking about Papazito. Let's roll, America. Let's go, birds!
All right, let's roll indeed. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Home Bar Happy Hour. We bring happy hour to you. My name is Joe, and that is Chef Gus. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by the Home Bar. If you like hanging out, please make sure to subscribe on YouTube or leave us a review on the podcast service of your choice. Our episode today is brought to you by BuyBlacket.com, but we'll tell you about that just a little bit later. For right now, let's get into it. Super Bowl bound. How are you feeling, Mike?
I am feeling great, bro.
Yeah?
Well, I'm feeling great about the birds, but I'm feeling a little, dude, I'm not as young as I once was.
Yeah, hurting a little bit after Sunday, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah, a little strung out.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah.
Just not firing on all cylinders. There's a cylinder misfire on cylinder 6, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just not as up.
Yeah. Not as lost a little bit of a pep in your step, but Sunday you were feeling it, right? Sunday you were on
dude, I was in full emotions, man. I'm surprised they even still have a voice.
Yeah, dude, it was what a crazy game. You were there, right? You were at the game having a good time. I was just there for the tailgate, but you actually got to go in. I went home and watched it at a little local bar. But man, it was a good time. We were going live.
I do have to say, there was Redskins fans there that were, I showed them respect, they were real cool and stuff like that. That's cool and stuff, but then there were some Redskins fans that were, chirping, and I saw the one and I'm like, dude, I just target acquired. And man, I gave him friendly banter. I was giving him banter. It was like more or less because he was wearing a scarf wrapped around his head and he was wearing pajama pants. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Like, what you're wearing PJs, you're wearing Washington PJs to a game. Yeah, and you have the audacity to talk shit. Dude, they came into that game so cocky, so arrogant, and then they piss and moaned on the way out the door that they were picking on me. Now, give or take, I know that there were some incidences where some Eagles fans were, scumbags.
Sure.
That's not just Eagles fans. That's like humanity in general, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't like appreciate it when the one Birds fan went up and took the dude's knit hat and ran off with it. Like, come on, bro. Like,
a lot of Commanders fans were coming in real hot, real privileged, thinking it was their game to win. Like, dude, if you were a Commanders fan, if you watch these games, y'all limped into this NFC Championship. You know what I mean? Like, it was, you guys didn't have these huge blowouts. Like, I would have been shocked if the Birds lost that game. And I mean, we ran up 50 points on y'all. So let's,
Yeah, I also felt like dude, like the tush push, like, I just felt like it was just like bitterness and they were playing dirty. Like,
that was super dirty. And like, I don't know what your, end goal is to just, go half the distance to the goal in, ad nauseum infinity. But it's just a dirty play. And I saw so many people on Twitter and threads and everything being like, they should ban this play. It's so stupid. It's like, why would they ban a play that literally everyone can do? Everyone's
doing it, man.
To do this play. We just found a way to do it a little bit better than everyone else, so it works for us.
Well, it's not even just us. It's like, dude, the Bills have modified it. They're playing their version of it. Give or take, they're not in the game, but the Chiefs do it. Everybody does it, and because your team can't do it, so like, it needs to be banned. Like, why? It's a running game.
It's a quarterback sneak.
It's literally a quarterback sneak.
Right.
It's a quarterback sneak. What's the problem here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like or band, like so. It's just like when fantasy football leagues, when people are like, "Oh, we got to do this," and we start going to change it, and then next thing you know, you have this monstrosity of a league.
I had a commissioner. He wanted to change rules like halfway through the league. He was like, "Oh, this should be the rule or whatever." And I was like, "You shouldn't change rules halfway through." He's like, "Well, what if it's a bad rule? What if there was a rule that like, you know,
you wait until the next season and then you put it up for vote."
Exactly. He gave me this example. He's like, what if you had a kicker and then, every 50-yard kick was worth 50 points? That's a stupid rule. We should change it. And I was like, unless you're the person that drafted a kicker really early that hits a 50-yarder every game, then you're penalizing that person who, worked the system, worked within the rules, figured it out. Like, you let that person win because they played the game right.
Also,
you can't, change it halfway through.
Let's not act like that single tush push is the reason you got your asses handed to you.
Right.
You got your asses handed to you because you were playing kids games.
Yeah, that was only one of our 7 touchdowns, right?
Like, yes. Yeah. Like so, I mean,
maybe worry about an answer to Saquon Barkley before you start, howling and whining about a tush push. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe don't let us get into that situation.
I think, it's just like Boston fans, more specifically like Barstool Sports, more specifically Dave Portnoy. Like, I love the dude. I love the guy, but him as a Boston fan, he's a little spiteful, man.
Sure.
I was like, bro, come on, man. I'm like, dude, don't act like your fans walk on water with Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, Boston fans are just as bad as any other fan base out there.
Oh, man. Red Sox fans are the worst. There's a Yankees fan in the stadium. They're, tearing them up, throwing beer cans at them. It's all the same. Boston is just as bad.
All I'm saying is that don't expect anything. It's just like humanity in general.
Boston's maybe the most white trash city. Well, maybe Detroit. I don't know.
Who? Detroit? Or I mean,
Boston.
Boston? Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I guess they have all those college bros. I don't know, man.
Yeah, all the college bros up there. Yeah, but
it's either like blue collar, like Irish Catholic, drunks up in Boston, or it's the Harvard, hoity-toity fucking nerds. That's all you got up in that town. Get out of here, Beantown.
Beantown. Oh man, dude, their heads are really gonna explode when if Jeffrey Lurie ends up buying the Celtics.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, that'll be something. Yeah.
Oh man, heads will roll.
Yeah, maybe it'll turn into a winning team again.
I don't even understand why they even have like beef with us. Like, we're not even, like, it's just like the Steelers like having beef with Philly. Like, we see each other once every 4 years.
Yeah,
same in a regular season.
Like, yeah, same with Ravens fans. Ravens fans seem to have like beef with Philly, and it's like you guys are in a different, just because you're 3 hours down 95. Who cares,
bro? It's because they just the Ravens fans just switch out their gear when the Washington does good. So they're basically Washington fans whenever they're good, and they just swap out.
Yeah, I mean the Ravens have been there since the 90s now. Yeah.
I think I look at Washington more like a lot of urban city fans, and Ravens fans are more country Maryland.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I've talked about it, but I hate the state of Maryland. If this is just going to turn into a podcast about me talking about the places in America that I don't like, I can't stand that stupid state of Maryland. Y'all are so small. You don't have anything. All you have is crabs, which is like the worst seafood. And then you have to cover it in that salty paprika you call it obey. That's the only way you can eat it down. Yeah, I got mad beef with Maryland. And they put that ugly flag on everything they have out there. So it must be terrible living in Baltimore when all you have, or living in Maryland, right? All you have is a baseball team and the Orioles that can't win anything, and the Ravens that won a Super Bowl, by happenstance, 8-9 years ago. You don't like crab riding that high.
You don't like crab meat in Old Bay?
Crab meat is fine, but like you go to Maryland, like, oh, we're gonna have a crab feast, and they just get spend $3,000 on 4 bushels of crabs, and you're spending an hour and a half pulling apart all these crabs.
Mean the soft shell crabs?
Yeah, no, not soft shell crabs. The actual hard shell crabs that you got to pull apart and everything. Get in there. I'm working for like 45 minutes to get 3 ounces of crab meat. Like, come on, guys, this ain't fun. Nobody.
I love crab legs. I love crab meat. I'm not a big fan of the soft shell crabs because Well, when I did go down there to Maryland for soft shell crabs, I accidentally drank a little bit too much,
Yeah.
and I dabbled a little bit. I accidentally ate some of its guts,
Yeah. You
and
don't
then
want
my
that.
guts went over the. My guts went into the bay.
Yeah, it's great. You don't know
I'm
what you're
like,
supposed to be eating out of them guys. They're just serving them up to you on a plate. Come on now.
I know, but I also like I never understood like why Old Bay's on the outside of them. Probably because when you're you know trying to tear it apart with your fingers, you get the Old Bay on your fingers, and then you grab a hold of the meat, and then it's
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 I know exactly
proportioned, I
why they do
guess.
it. It's because your fingers are going to get cut up while you're trying to pick up, while you're trying to tear out those pointy bastards. So they want that Old Bay to seep into your, fingers, so everyone's, bloody and gushing and infected by the time they're done their crab feast. That's what I think about Maryland.
Yeah. But how are you feeling about, dude, I really do feel bad about the Bills. I don't know, like I
Man.
saw that they were bitching about the one play, about how I saw the play. I felt like the ball hit the ground and should have been an incomplete pass.
Yeah, 100%. I saw that play too, and
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of guy that's like, oh, the refs are rigging it, and it's But dude, if you like, I watched the replays along with everyone else. That dude didn't even have two hands on it. He had like one hand on it, and then the defender had the other hand, and then it came down and hit the ground. Like my dude did not have control of that ball, and I'm not a professional referee, but even I could see, man, that was absolutely a not a catch. And then that was a weird play too, because they hurried it up. They had already ran another play.
Yeah.
So then they were going back. And I feel like it was just the referees kind of being like, well, we've already let them run a play. We don't want to like go do everything again. It's like we missed it beforehand. I don't know if they missed the challenge flag, that was thrown on the field, and they should have whistled the ball dead. I don't know, man. That was super weird. And it was really weird for them to call it a catch. Like I did not see at all how that was a catch.
All I know is that if the Eagles can't beat the Chiefs, this is like there's something wrong, because I feel now it's our team going against their scheme. It's their scheme that's winning games.
Yeah.
Their scheme and management. So if we're playing with a stacked roster, like we're talented at every position on our team is stacked. Like, and if you can't beat the Chiefs scheme and organization with this, then you might as just like there's nobody that's going to be able to beat the Chiefs. Nobody.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Like,
I really wanted Buffalo to get in. The issue with Buffalo getting in is if Buffalo got in, then the whole world would be against Philly, right? Like that's just
absolutely.
How, but
yeah.
everyone would be rooting for Buffalo. And now people are just like, these two teams that everyone kind of hates are in it again. Obviously I'd be rooting for the Birds regardless of who they're playing. But
and again, dude, I don't understand. Like is it because of like some of our fans? And it's just like, I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, bro, like we've only won one Super Bowl. Like, what's the problem here?
I'll tell you this, Mike. I talk a lot of crap on other states and Boston and Maryland and Ohio, but Philadelphia as a state, we're a C tier state. We're not one of the greats. We don't have anything super cool coming on. And Philly is just like a middle of the road city. Like, I love the city. I grew up here. But like, I remember getting off the plane from basic training, AIT, and walking out the Philly airport, and it was just covered in garbage. And I was like, yep, this feels like home. Like it's kind of a dirty city. There's a lot of crime.
Oh, it's dirty.
It kind of sucks. Like,
but every city's like this. You got New York, Boston. Like Boston is a pretty clean city, but they still have all their issues that every other city has.
Every
like
city,
Dallas, San Francisco, Oakland.
Yeah, well,
LA's.
So, I mean, if we're getting into it, like San Diego, right? There's nothing wrong with that city. You ever been to that city? It's like the cleanest city.
I heard it's like what was it called? The Emerald City.
It is, dude. It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful place. New York, you have Rockefeller Center and all the late night shows and this killer comedy scene. LA, you've got like obviously Hollywood and Disneyland. You also have hiking and the beach, all this stuff. Philly, you've got like some history, you got the cool art museum, but like I think this is a great example of Philly. Like, in front of our art museum, we have the statue of Rocky. And like that is our hero, a fictional
Yeah.
character that loses in the first movie. Like that is just such the underdog story of Philly. So I get it. I
Well, you
could,
have Independence Hall,
we have Independence Hall.
the birthplace of America, the Liberty Bell.
I'm not arguing with you here, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm
No, no,
I'm
no,
a
I know that.
defender. I'm a defender of
Oh.
Philly, but I get why other people hate us. They hate us because we hate us.
It's just like the same. So Pittsburgh, like I said this before, Pittsburgh is a nice city, especially in the summertime when it's
Pittsburgh's
warm.
a great city, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I will
Like
give
there's so
them
much.
some-
Like there is a lot to do down there.
I love their
it's a
baseball
nice little.
stadium,
Yes.
PNC Bank. Yeah,
Yeah, I love I forget where it is where Dan got married. That section on the other side of the river. That whole strip right there. That's a nice strip. They got a lot of stuff going on there. Even if you go downtown, like I mean, it's still good. Like it's still a good place. Like the whole city is just like a nice city. It's just when you get into the suburbs, that's what I'm talking about, like the suburbs. So even though like your downtown may be clean and stuff like that, it's a good time. Your suburbs are what the issue is because that's still a part of the city.
Yeah. And then you go a little too far out into the suburbs, you end up in Ohio, and
Ohio is. I thought Ohio or Cleveland is a good. I thought that's a nice city.
They got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They had Drew Carey. They had some stuff.
They have that city's like really cleaned up.
Yeah.
And I was impressed. Like I said, like I was out there for, a long time ago, and it was, they were fixing the highways up.
Yeah.
Dude, they got an awesome dinner cruise to go out in the lake. Oh, dude, it's sweet.
Yeah.
And but yeah, like there's cities now. If you go anywhere else now, we're like, I don't know about Cincinnati, man. Columbus is. I felt like Columbus is kind of a dump.
Yeah, well, you know what it is with Ohio? They just pretend they have more cities than they do. You got, Cleveland, fine, there you go. Then you're like, okay, Cincinnati, that's kind of a city. Then you're like, Columbus, I don't know if that's really a city. Then you have people who are like, oh, well, I'm from Dayton, Ohio. I'm from Akron. Like, get out of here, bro. That's not a city. Yeah. That's a mall. With the suburbs around it. That's all you got.
It's like saying Erie or Harrisburg or
right. Yeah.
Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Williamsport.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
If you ever get a chance, Canton, Ohio, for the Hall of Fame, you gotta go there.
Yeah,
dude, that's especially. Oh, well, if you're gonna go, wait until after. Birds fans, if you haven't been there, let's wait until after the Super Bowl because if we do win the Super Bowl, like then I forget when they do it. They update it here for the summer, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but
for the
give us something. Yeah, because they still have like Chiefs shit up for last Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, dude, they do like this whole. It's an awesome experience.
Yeah,
but you don't want to go. You don't want to go there if it's like. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. Just give it some time.
Yeah.
In the event that the Chiefs do pull, and the refs pull one out on their favor.
I will say what's kind of cool about this Super Bowl and it being against the Chiefs. I like everyone else in America was rooting for Buffalo, but this would give us an opportunity to stop another dynasty. You know what I mean? Last time we beat the Patriots,
like a three-peat.
Well, last time we beat the Patriots and they were on such this huge run, they were winning all these Super Bowls. I don't think we weren't the first ones to beat them in a Super Bowl, but it was a big
It was only us. It was only us and the Giants.
And the Giants, right?
Yeah, the Giants twice, us once.
Yeah,
I think those were the only 3 Super Bowls that they lost.
So this has given us another chance, and I mean, Kansas City is really steamrolling now, right? I mean, this is their third Super Bowl appearance in 3 years. They won the first 2.
I would say they're a dynasty right now.
That's what I mean.
Without even them like winning this third one, I would say that they're a respectable dynasty. Like,
and they're going to be good next year. As long as Mahomes is there, and they're going to continue to have a good team. So I think it's a good spot for us to like plant a flag and be like, hey, we're here and we can do some cool stuff.
Yes. So let's enjoy these next 2 weeks. Just bring it in. Thank God there's like we got a little bye week here, and but real quick before we get into this weekend's events, Joe, I'd like to extend a some gratitude and some appreciation for Outlaw Mile High Light Beer Company.
All right.
Yes, they. I met some of the representatives at the tailgate before you showed up, and if you haven't seen the videos on our social media, I went live, and we did a shotgun. They were handing out free beers, and I shotgun beers with their representatives. They were pretty cool, man. They were real good dudes, and the beer, awesome beer, tasted great. We had a great time. But I'm going to go on. I'm on their website here. I'm going to give a little bit of an about culture, who they are and where they started, and then we'll go into our we'll go into our advertisement. So, Outlaw Mile High, excuse me, Outlaw Mile High Light Beer. Outlaw is brewed by Tivoli Brewing Company. Let us tell you a story of resilience and rebirth. In 1859, John Good started Tivoli. Years later, during Prohibition, Tivoli adapted by producing low ABV cereal beers. After the ban was lifted, Tivoli roared back to life, brewing a legendary lineup of beers. Growing to become one of the largest breweries in the United States of America, Tivoli faced a setback when record floods devastated Denver, forcing the brewery to close its doors. However, the spirit of Tivoli persevered, and it was reborn in the same building, equipped with state-of-the-art facilities. With 153 years of history, Tivoli Brewing continues its legacy, crafting exceptional beers for all to enjoy. Now, I looked over here, and where they have their beers available, it's right, they have beers here, so awesome. So I can always hit them up, but yeah, they got hashtag Get Bucked. I love it. But you can follow them on TikTok, and more or less they told me that they're very heavily on Instagram. Obviously with the up in the air of TikTok, nobody knows what's going on with that. Yeah. So, but yes, it's a very good light beer. If you ever get a chance, it's definitely a beer that I might want to buy from, here in the summertime.
Yeah, nice and crushable. When I showed up, there was already an empty case in front of our tailgate, so I know some guys.
One empty case? I know. Yeah, we were hitting them hard, brother.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool, dude. The tailgate was awesome. We met some good friends. A lot of guys there started, watching it, and we're gonna, expand. That's Paul's. It seems like Paul's tailgate is going to be it looks like they're going to be become a big tailgate party because they're right next to 4th and John.
I mean, they were, yeah. I mean, it was already a pretty big spot. A lot of people there, a lot of guys coming in, people coming in and out. Yeah, it was a good time for sure. While we're on that, let me just remind everyone, this is the Home Bar Happy Hour every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We bring happy hour to you. We appreciate you guys stopping by the Home Bar. We are brought to you by buyblacket.com, and we're going to tell you about that right now. This episode of Home Bar Happy Hour is brought to you by buybeckett.com. Head over to buybeckett.com/homebarhappy to shop their happy hour line of clothing and gifts. They have cool t-shirts, sweatshirts, and fun coffee mugs that lets everyone know you care about the important things in life, like happy hour. And if you use our link, you can get 15% off your first order. Buy Beckett has a ton of great clothing and accessory options, from their happy hour line to their veteran first line. Mike and I are both vets, and we love showing our support for the troops with a cool mug or a funny t-shirt. They have some really great stuff, and you will not be disappointed. So head over to buybeckett.com/homebarhappy or use the link in the description for 15% off your first order. Help support the show and get yourself some great stuff. That's buybeckett.com/homebarhappy or use the link in the description. So, Mike, it's finally happening. They're going to release all the docs. Have you seen this? They're releasing the JFK, the RFK, the MLK. All these documents are getting released. What are your feelings about it?
I want 100% transparency. If I see documents on there that are redacted, I'm going to be like, this isn't releasing the files.
Yeah.
You're still hiding shit.
Have they already released them? I don't know. I haven't looked.
No, National Archives released, I think it was a 15-day minimum preparation for them to unlock them.
I know with MLK's family, they were asking if they could see the documents first before it went to the public, which is fair.
Yeah.
Because they were looking at MLK for years, and
Yeah.
he was a great guy, but he had some skeletons in his closet. He was kind of a serial
Yeah.
philanderer and stuff. So
Well,
there's
yeah,
probably a
like
lot of sensitive stuff that they don't want getting out.
yeah. Well, that plus like no, I'm never going to judge anybody unless you're like committing felonies and shit like that. You can't be going around. You can't be going around beating women and child abuse and murdering people and
Yeah, there are some things you can do that don't take away from your legacy, and I mean, I think it's definitely something that MLK had in his past, but it doesn't negate all of the good he did for
yes,
American
absolutely.
culture, right? Like
Yes.
but it's still some sensitive things that I'm sure his family are like, well,
and
how
dude,
much?
And you know what? Here's the thing: it's that like as far as like MLK goes, it's just like I'm pretty sure there's nothing in there that's going to tarnish his legacy as compared to how people or society treated African Americans in that time.
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
dude, like there's nothing like the heinous shit that's been going on.
Yeah,
dude, like people. Despicable. It is. No human being should be treated that way.
Right.
And
you have the guy that was leading the marches on Selma. Like, what are you going to release?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then with JFK and RFK, I felt like that was I just feel like it was an inside job. That's just my opinion. Now, I could be proven wrong, but it's just my opinion. I felt like those two wanted peace and prosperity, and another part of this world that we live in didn't want that because it didn't make money.
Yeah,
they wanted that. They
say for the war
because
economy.
because there was definitely after that speech that JFK talked about that we all may inhabit this planet together, inhabit this planet together. Khrushchev like immediately wanted to see JFK and the U.S. envoy for like an ongoing peace agreement and unification between the Soviet Union and America. I don't believe Khrushchev ever wanted war and stuff. Like I feel, but then again, the Soviet Union had their deep state too.
Yeah,
they had their hardliners. So it was like the hardliners and the hardliners wanted, it was like ongoing. So it's just like, that's just how I feel. Like, and then the stuff with the Cuban Missile Crisis and the humiliation of losing at the Bay of Pigs with Cuba and stuff, like all that. Like, if you watch like documentaries about the Cuban Missile Crisis and how much our generals and senior cabinet members wanted a fight. For the, you know what I mean? They wanted to fight Cuba and then on to, you know what I mean? They wanted to escalate that in the worst way. And you didn't know what the Soviets were doing because they were behind a black curtain. And you know what I mean? Like
behind an iron
they were doing this. Yeah, they were doing the same thing. Yeah. So it's just like, it's just, I'm very, and that's what the thing was, is I was very happy and I was very proud that JFK and RFK, stuck by their guns and, and just kept it the way how they believed and what should happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know if it was actually an inside job and all the, all the theories that go along with it. I'm a little torn. It feels very, coincidental. And as someone that doesn't believe in a lot of coincidences, at the same time, there's so many people in the government that someone would just figure it out and talk or, look at some documents they don't have, so many things get leaked, right? Like, just from all over the place. So I find it hard to keep like that big of a secret for that long. I also think like, even if it was, and they release these documents, that ain't going to be in them documents. That would be redacted, or that would be, hey, we're going to release these documents. This one over here, you hold on to that one. You know what I mean?
Well,
and
a lot of those people,
operation too. Like they're not writing anything down.
I feel like a lot of people during that time that were all part of that are all past. They're all gone.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, if they're all gone and 10 feet in the ground, what does it matter?
I mean, just the trust in the American government, you know what I mean? Like, that wasn't that long ago. It was the 60s, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
also, but I mean, like the people have a right to know, we have a right to know because we're the voters. We're the ones who put those people into power.
Yeah.
And You know what I mean? And that's just with RFK and JFK.
Yeah.
And then with MLK and like with Martin Luther King, like what he like apparently somebody didn't like what he was doing.
Yeah.
And that's that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
So and then but outside of that, I want to know what's coming next, man. I want to see some aliens, man. That's what I want to see.
That's what I want to know. That's really what I want to know is about the aliens. Like, quit keeping me in the dark. I want to know what's going on at Area 51. I want to know all the information we have. And they've released some stuff. They've released some, weird pictures of flying objects and stuff. No one knows what it is. But yeah, I want to see like all the evidence we got on them aliens.
With the exception of military secrets. Like
sure,
nobody needs to know. Nobody needs to know we don't need to know our military secrets. Like as far as like technology and weaponry and stuff.
You think we stole weapons from the aliens? I think that's how they made
but no. I mean, well, no. This like they're saying like the stealth fighter technology. Like this is an old
that came
one.
From aliens?
Well, it's like what do they say? Converted their technology and like. You utilize it into ours, configured it, or what is that called?
Like reverse engineering.
Yes, reverse engineered it into our technology. Parts of theirs, but
that'd be wild.
Yeah, I feel that AI is, dude. AI. I know this is going to be it's not controversial or anything. It's a little off topic is what I'm trying to talk about.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about like the mankind's ability to constantly evolve.
Yeah.
And if AI is able to take us into the next step, like as far as like, mankind with horse and stagecoach, and we designed and invented the steam engine.
Yeah.
That was like, that just changed everything. And then it just went into the industrial age. And I believe that's what AI is. It's going to make our lives easier. It's going to make our lives healthier. AI is going to be able to, I feel like, cure a lot of uncurable cancers because our minds aren't built the same way. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So it's going to help us better ourselves to become a more prosperous and I feel a more peaceful civilization, and also like cut down on pollution and stuff. Here's one, bro. Pollution. I don't care what anybody says, dude. Like, with the where everybody's out here, vote for the Green New Deal and stuff like that. That's fine. I'm all about being very environmental friendly.
Yeah.
But when I go down to these cities and stuff, like Philly, and there's trash all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, man, you can't be saying one thing and then just doing an opposite. You know what I mean? Like, I bring everywhere I go. When I go on a boat, I go camping, I go down to a tailgate. I always bring trash bags with me. And I always throw my trash out in the trash bag. And if I'm not going to leave it there. I'm going to throw it in the back of my truck. And I'm going to throw it, when I get home.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, the Eagles parking lot was pretty nasty. And
it was nasty. It was still, it was just like they plowed it and
they just plowed all the trash together. Yeah.
Well, that's because of all the snow.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. And with AI, I think like wherever like the biggest advancements come from is whenever we can communicate quicker. Right. And we get so you had like the printing press is the big one, right? It allowed people to not just tell people, and then the telephone, and like you said, the steam engine, it allowed, this information to get across to people. And obviously the internet made it like almost instantaneous for you to learn something. You remember like when we were growing up, if something happened, you'd learn about it on the radio or the nightly news. You know what I mean? Now it's immediate on your, phone. So,
dude, if AI is able to develop clean, reusable energy that I'm not saying like nuclear energy, because nuclear energy is clean and renewable. It's just that it's fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
Dude, one little computer error.
Yeah.
And poof, there goes the whole eastern seaboard.
Exactly.
Uninhabitable for God knows how long.
Yeah, you had the little 3 Mile Island incident. You don't want that happening.
And it's not just that, because like during when Chernobyl went off, dude,
right.
like Like all that shit, like went up back in the 80s, man.
Yeah, there's still
Or
three-headed dogs walking around there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you could walk there now, but you can't stay there. You can't live there.
No,
Like
not
you
at
can
all.
walk around parts, but when you get close to the facility, like, and then there's the other thing that steel dome that goes over it, like that's going to be financial. That's going to be resealed again. It's going to have another dome.
Yeah.
But it's such a it's like I said, like any little human error, like humans are not perfect. You can have the smartest people behind that, and something is going to happen.
But
because it's human error. We're imperfect. Somebody who tells me that they're perfect, I call bullshit. You're not perfect.
Yeah,
nobody's perfect.
No one's perfect.
People make bad decisions.
Right.
People make bad decisions without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Everything AI's pulling, though, at least from now, is human input, right? Like it's just crawling the internet.
Yeah, I feel like
information.
I feel like it's got safeguards, and I agree with that. Safeguards are to keep it within its lane.
Yeah. My bigger concern with it is that it's just going to make people dumber, right? I think there's already like kind of a lack of context, like in the world.
Yeah.
Like everyone's getting like stuff from a tweet, or like that's where people are getting their news, their information from, instead of like actually like researching the source. Even like instead of reading a book, right? Like you could read like the Cliff Notes book. Remember those little guys like back in the day? Yep. Now it's like instead of reading a book or watching a movie, you can just like type in a chat GPT, like, give me a summary of this thing. And if that's like all the information you're getting is like this small summary of something, as you could say like, give me a summary of the Chernobyl incident. And like, you're not going to be well versed in that if you haven't watched the documentaries and read the read the books and actually studied it. So I that's my kind of concern with AI. It just makes people. It's going to make more people stupider.
Also, yeah. Also, I just don't believe that people should have access to unlimited information.
Right.
Like I just don't like if you have an interest or something like that, yeah, go ahead but it shouldn't I'm trying to feel like that's where the problem is that there's misinformation out there on both wherever non-political. There's just misinformation about everything out there. I mean, let's put it at the sports. Let's put it in a sports. Let's put it in a sports perspective. The Washington Commanders. Like, literally, we're thinking they were going to come in and just absolutely demolish us. You know why? Because they have themselves in that Washington bubble, listening to their sports analysts and also the national media and stuff like that. And they don't follow our team. And understandable. I don't follow the Washington team. Like, I'm talking like outside of like Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin, and I just started picking up on Noah Brown here just recently. But outside of that, like, I don't know every position, like their offensive line, their defensive line. I know Payne's a good guy, or a really good defensive player. Marcus Lattimore. I know he's a good defensive player, but outside of all that, like, I don't follow them to understand that every position and who they play. We do. We follow our, like, you know what I mean? So when I said we were going to annihilate them, I was pretty like, dude, I didn't have to know their entire team to know that. I just know our team and how we're playing. Each player is playing. I watch these games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you can see how the Eagles played in the playoffs, versus how Washington was playing. They barely squeaked through their 2 wins to get to us.
I followed this team since 91. Right. Like, I know, like, how many times have we fucking heard at safety? How many times have we heard a corner, linebacker, D-line, offensive line? Like, we have, like, the best offensive line coach in the league. Like, there's a lot of things that are coming into play here. It's not just like throwing Saquon Barkley behind like some, subpar offensive line. He's doing this good because, yes, he is extremely gifted and talented, but our offensive line is fucking insane.
Yeah.
We have a very good offensive line.
Yeah.
And because we drafted them. We drafted Dickerson, Lane, all those guys we draft. Like, Lane's first round pick, Dickerson first round pick. Cam Jurgens, late, or I think it was an early second round pick.
Yeah. Johnson's getting up there too. I don't know how many seasons he's got left in him.
but you know what I mean. And then we got like but here's another example of Jeff Stoutland and how amazing he is. We had Becton come in out of nowhere. It's journeyman, like
Yeah.
prove yourself, and he's playing like out of his mind, and he's going to go off and get paid this offseason because he's going to become a UFA.
Yeah, get that money.
You know
baby.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like we know our team, so I was like very comfortable in saying that. Like, I'm not taking anything away from Jay Daniels because he's a special quarterback. He's going to be awesome, and he's going to be he's a very tough, respectable opponent. I mean, outside of that, like Terry McLaurin, he's not getting any younger.
Yeah.
And but I'm pretty sure he's happy that he actually has a quarterback that he can catch passes from.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, outside of like, it's just that they remind me of the Eagles when I guess you could say like Wentz's first year, maybe.
Okay. What was that?
Or
2017, 2018?
or McNabb's rookie year.
Okay.
Or his second year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like along those, because back then we didn't have any receivers until we had T.O.
Yeah, until we figured
You know
out
what I mean?
we got him from the Cowboys, yeah.
So, but yeah, let's move on to that. I'd like to get into the Royal Rumble here this Saturday, Joe.
Oh man, we're roiling and we're rumbling.
Yes, dude. Have you been following up on any of that?
I haven't followed a bit of it. What's going on? Fill me in on the Royal Rumble.
Apparently it's going to be pretty wild, man. You got
Yeah.
John Cena. Dude, it's going to be a good Royal Rumble. Like, you got John Cena. You got The Rock in it.
Okay.
Possibly Brock Lesnar.
Ooh, all right.
I forget, but man, they're going to have like 2 title matches. The one title match is Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes in a ladder match.
Oh, all right. That sounds
we haven't seen it. Yeah, we haven't seen a good ladder match in forever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. You got Rhea Ripley in a women's title match.
Okay, and well, she's holding it now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. You have Gunther's match, I guess, is against Jey Uso.
Oh, okay. That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Uso kids.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be a really good. It's gonna be a really good Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that ladder
excited.
match, Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. That'll be fun. I like that.
And I don't know what the deal is between WWE and TNA, but TNA is obviously going under, and WWE is reportedly going to buy it.
Okay.
And so if they are, then that leaves the door open for any TNA wrestlers to come on over.
Yeah, just let them on in because we already.
Well,
have,
I mean, leave the door, like the forbidden door is what they call it.
Okay.
I mean, they're still wrestle for TNA. It's just that.
You think they'll just come in? You don't think they'll do it like like an NXT thing where they're just kind of like feeding them?
No. I mean, just for the Royal Rumble.
Oh, okay.
Because Mickie James, that's what they did for Mickie James when she was the women's champion there.
Okay.
She entered the women's Royal Rumble I forget how long ago, but yeah, she came over through the Forbidden Door. That was pretty cool. I think somebody else came in through the Forbidden Door too. I would like to see Chris Jericho come back through the Forbidden Door because AEW ain't doing any better from what I've heard.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
I haven't been watching it lately. Football is precedence right now.
Yeah, I watched that first Monday Night Raw, and it was just like 3-4 hours, and I'm like, man, I don't got that much time in my day. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm watching The Godfather. You know, that long of a TV show.
Yeah,
it's supposed to do this every week. Come on, y'all.
But yeah, the Royal Rumble. I'm gonna have some Army buddies over. We're gonna be. I think we're gonna do a pork shoulder.
Oh, okay.
I think I haven't done a pork shoulder. Definitely going to do some. Definitely going to do some smoked meats.
Yeah, smoke.
It's gonna be kind of. It's gonna be warm here this weekend.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like decent. It's supposed to be up there as opposed to the. Well, even like Sunday wasn't terrible, but I mean, dude, it's been as opposed to 20 degrees. It's been outside.
Yeah,
can't even like look outside without your eyeballs freezing.
I got this recipe for some smoked chipotle chicken drumsticks. So I'm gonna fillet them.
Okay.
And then, so they'll be open faced, and then I sear them off, and then finish them off in the smoker.
Okay. Should be good. Good time.
Yeah. But that's all I got today, brothers.
All right.
I wanted to put out there, but we're out of time. But
put it out there.
Maybe Yeah, I wanted to get into Ibiza, Spain. For the amount of money that I spent to go to the NFC Championship game, I could have went to Ibiza, Spain for a week
You should
at
have
an
done
all
that.
inclusive on an all inclusive resort.
Yeah, you should have done
And
that.
I was just like,
Ibiza's awesome. I think it's
just,
with a T-A. Well, I know it's spelled with a Z, but I think it's pronounced like a Bitha. Like a th.
Ibiza.
Ibiza. Yeah.
Okay. I have a list. If you're traveling single to Ibiza, but we're out of time. So
We'll hit it.
Get that. We'll get that in next week.
We'll hit it next week.
Along with now we're good with Colombia now.
Yeah.
Your coffee is safe.
Yes. Good deals.
Man, we'll talk about Papazito. I'm out of here. All right, brothers. We'll talk to you next week. Yep. Go ahead, Joe.
We'll see you guys.